A woman is a woman is a woman is a woman. They're all the same. Gentlemen, they are all the same. Now, first and foremost, I would like to let out a disclaimer. We don't shame women here. We don't talk down. We don't high side and high cap. We accept female nature for what it is because it is what it is. Now, I'm reminiscing on China Bay. Woo-wee! China Bay. All right. So this is right before my first deployment. I was in a place called Camp Atterbury. I was mobilizing. And, she was a foreign exchange student. I guess the school that she went to, like what's so cold about it, I never met the dude she was dealing with. I used to always see her. You see what I'm saying? By herself. And never met the dude she was dealing with, but he was in the military. And she was a foreign exchange student. He saw her and, he mashed. She was a nice little piece of change. And in all fairness, all of our interactions it was never anything sexual. It just progressed naturally. You see what I'm saying? Like I would see her, we chop game and that would be that. And it was always like that. Like I ran into her probably like 4 or 5 times. And then on the 6th time, that's when everything had changed dramatically. And I'll tell you why. We had like an in-house tournament. It was like a martial arts tournament, like basically some UFC shit. And for my weight class, I won the jump. You see what I'm saying? And she ran up to me. Just like afterwards, you see what I'm saying? She ran up to me and gave me like this big ass, she just gave me like this big ass hug, right? And it wasn't like a church joke. It was like a big ass hug. I was like, okay, I think I know where this could go. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking in my head. I was rubbing my chin. I'm like, all right. And I seen her again probably like 2 days later. She was in the day room. And we just struck up a conversation. And out of nowhere, I was looking at her and I was like, you sure lie you, right? And she turned and looked at me and was like, what? How do you know that? And I said, I learned it from a friend of mine. She was like, whoa, you said it without an accent and everything. And I was like, Tai Shila. Like I just kept going with it. And she didn't know I could speak her language. So once I like the look on her eyes, when she found out that I could speak her language, like I already knew when she gave me this big ass hug. But the look on her eyes when I could speak her language, everything changed from that moment forth. So it went from, us just having regular conversation to there being something there to, obviously something is going on here because she was talking about how the dude she was dealing with, how she tries to teach him her language and it just wasn't working and all this other stuff. And what's so cold about it, I was so good. Like and I'm gonna show some videos too of me picking up girls because I can guess where they're from. I don't know. That's just a secret power, man. I have several videos of me approaching girls and me knowing where they're from with just me looking at them. So put some respect on my motherfucking name. So I said, by your accent, I can tell you from Fujian. And she just couldn't figure out how I knew such stuff. She was like, whoa, you are really good. And I was like, yeah, I do my best. So in particular, this one night, like I said, we were talking. This is the longest that we'd ever talked. She was telling me all sorts of stuff about, why she left China in the first place, her and old boy's relationship. And I didn't do no Drake's Marvin Room type shit. You see what I'm saying? They had little issues. And I was like, hey, well, the same stuff you talking to me about, you need to talk to him about. And she was saying how she couldn't talk to him. And I don't know, I guess that kind of like opened the floodgates even more because she's sitting there talking to me about all of these problems. And then in my head, I was like, okay, you need to go ahead and make your move. Just go ahead and make your move. And so we're sitting there talking. And I don't know what it was. I just like reached out for her hand. And she looked down. And then she grabbed my hand. And then we like looked at each other. There was like a long, I'm not going to say it was an awkward silence, but it was just like a long silence. So we sitting there looking at each other. And I started pumping her hand. I was like, how do you feel? And she was like, relieved. I haven't felt this way in a long time. And I said, why? Because, you got to fully express yourself. You got to be yourself. She was like, yeah. And we're sitting there talking, joking. And I'll probably say 10 minutes after that, she had on these little, those little tearaway track pants where the people, like the athletes used to wear. They had on the top and the bottom where you can just rip that joint off. It had the buttons. So she had on some pants like that, right? And she opened the side part. You see what I'm saying, on the joint. She didn't take it all off, but she opened up the side part. And it was like all like leg. And all leg and ass. I was like, oh shit. Like in my head, I'm like, oh shit. Because I had never busted Chinese joint before. I'm only 18 years old. You said, man, yeah, I was only 18. I'm not even 9. I'm only 18 years old. I was like, oh shit. And I looked down and I looked at her and she had this like smile on her, like a little devilish smirk on her face, right? So you know how when you kissing a girl or you about to make out with a girl and they go to like lay on their back and you get on top of them? That's what happened. It happened like back to back to back. She did the little open up the little track pants jump. I looked down because I couldn't believe she was doing what she was doing. And I was like, okay, this is my time to go for the kill. And she started smiling. I go to reach in and we kissing for a little bit and then it happens. My man Schmidt comes in the day room. Fucks it all up in a major way. He come in asking all these questions. You see what I'm saying? Like he's basically like a third wheel. So much so to the point that he comes in and sits in between us. Now, Schmidt, in all fairness, like I love the dude. A lot of the stuff he didn't really realize he was doing. But I'm like, Slim, I had to come to the realization he was one of those types of cats where it's like, if I'm not getting no pussy, nobody else is. You see what I'm saying? And he just couldn't get the hint. I was like, Slim, don't you got somewhere you got to go? He was like, nah, man, I don't got CQ for another like 5 hours. And I was like, yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's okay, that's cool, but you got to move around. He was like, she don't got no problem with me staying. I was like, well, I do. You see what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck up out of here, Slim. And he just kept trying to make an issue. And at that point, she got up. She was like, hey, I'll see you later. And walked off. I was pissed. I'm still mad because I never really, any other time I seen her after that, she was always like in the mix. You see what I'm saying? I couldn't really get a chance to see what was up with her. And I ran into her back on, like, when MySpace first started, and we were still shooting slugs and stuff like that, and she let me know that, yeah, the opportunity was there, but I was so fucking pissed, man, because I knew that shit would have been potent. I knew it would have. But you know what? It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. As mad as I could have been at my man Schmidt, you see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if she wanted to really get bust, she would have, she would have let it be known, man. But that motherfucker Schmidt was not trying to go nowhere. And this ain't the first story with him neither. This ain't the first story, because I'm going to let y'all know about another jump. But bruh, that shit was right there. That shit was right there. I ain't going to fake it. It still makes me feel some type of way, man, just because of the fact that, son, when I went to go, you see what I'm saying, kiss her, she was just like, that jump was ready, son. That jump was ready. The engine was revving. Like, by the time I went in for the kiss, I had already pressed the little nitro button. You see what I'm saying? So all I had, man, if I wanted to, I probably could have fucked her right there in the day room, man. But I had the king of all cock blockers. This motherfucker sat in the middle of us. He sat in the middle of us. Oh, man. Gentlemen, a woman is a woman is a woman is a woman. She had never been to the States before. The only time she saw a black man was on TV. Yet, I had her ready to go on the couch. So that should tell you. Matter of fact, I think, prior to me meeting her, she had only been in the States probably like 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months. had a fiance and everything. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that was a fiance, whatever. The point is that she was ready to go. If you intrigue a woman, if you fuck her mind, everything else goes out the window. Because a woman's logic is rooted in her emotions. So the minute her emotions get stirred up, whoop, there goes her logic. If it wasn't for my man Schmidt, I already know what time it was. I ain't gonna fake. If I was to see Schmidt to this day, I'd slap him. You see what I'm saying? I slapped the shit out of him just because, son, this Bama, he stayed on some, if I'm not gonna get no pussy, nobody else is type of shit. I know that joint was gonna be potent too, man. I already knew. To be honest, I would have put that joint in there and had to take it right back out. You see what I'm saying? I would have had to put that joint in there and take it right back out.